www.maurice-info.mu.
Mesdames, Messieurs, chers amis et cher Christophe, bonjour et bienvenue. Comme a dit Bruce, je voudrais d'abord donc à tous vous remercier d'avoir répondu présent à notre invitation. Je vois que le sujet de l'IoT est un sujet d'actualité à Maurice, vu l'auditoire. Vous êtes venus donc pour la présentation et le lancement de Mascariegnes Connect, partenaire de Sigfox, réseau mondial dédié à l'IoT, l'Internet des objets connectés. Ce soir, cet après-midi, donc on va vous expliquer et vous allez découvrir ce monde où plein de choses est possible, de connecter le monde physique au monde digital. Cette nouvelle entreprise mauricienne est associée à IO Connect, Indian Ocean Connect, société réunionnaise dont je suis le président. Et la mission d'IO Connect est de relier ce monde réel au monde digital. Moi, je suis un entrepreneur très content d'être parmi vous. Je dirige une entreprise familiale dans les domaines du commerce, du recyclage, des énergies renouvelables et bien entendu avec IO Connect dans le numérique. Et ce moment avec vous aujourd'hui est d'autant plus particulier qu'il s'agit d'une nouvelle aventure et une aventure régionale. Une aventure bâtie sur la solidité de notre groupe familial et sur la relation d'affaires de longue date teintée d'amitié qui nous lie à Ken Hinton, lui-même un entrepreneur dynamique à l'île Maurice. Nous partageons les mêmes valeurs et volonté de développer ensemble des innovations dans nos territoires. À ce titre, le développement de la coopération régionale est indispensable au développement de nos économies. Grâce au digital, le village aujourd'hui mondial et nécessite de travailler ensemble intelligemment, gagnant-gagnant. Nous vivons de véritables transformations digitales impactant tous les aspects de notre société. Des technologies comme le blockchain, le big data, l'intelligence artificielle, l'impression 3D et l'IoT sont des véritables changements et de paradigmes. On est vraiment, on vit vraiment tout ce bouleversement et ça va aller très très vite. L'ensemble des secteurs de nos économies et de nos vies vont être bouleversés par l'IoT. Au sein de nos territoires insulaires où les ressources sont rares, nous devons penser efficient et collaboratif. Avec Sigfox, nous développons un écosystème ouvert. Un écosystème où on apporte une infrastructure dédiée à l'IoT, chose que jusqu'à maintenant, sur Maurice, on n'avait pas cette infrastructure dédiée vraiment à l'IoT. Et où l'ensemble des acteurs mauriciens digital pourront développer des solutions PI. PI, un P, un E, un I, une meilleure productivité, plus économe et innovante. Vous en saurez plus dans quelques minutes. Kenneth Tong, co-directeur chez Mascariegnes Connect, et Roger Biguignon, le directeur général, vous donneront plus de détails au sujet des opérations mauriciennes. Et je suis très honoré d'accueillir notre cher Christophe Fourté, cofondateur et Chief Scientific Officer de Sigfox. Il est cofondateur avec M. Frédéric Laurent. Pour présenter le potentiel de cette technologie innovante, une des briques contribuant au développement, par exemple, des Smart Cities. Ainsi que Bruce Chan, directeur BioConnect, qui vous présentera également le monde des possibles avec ce réseau. En conclusion, nous devons penser à nos villes, à nos îles, de manière plus intelligente, plus smart. Je vous propose donc de faire de l'île Maurice, ensemble, une Smart Island. Je vous remercie de votre attention.
Thank you for giving us your precious time today for the launch of the first dedicated IoT national network and service in Mauritius. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dear friends and children. Bonjour Maya, bonjour Mika. I will tell you a story of why we're all here today. About a year and a half ago, I got a call from my dear friend John. John and I have been friends for many, many years. And again, our friendship was based on guys who sees Bukane, Boulé, Moichonyu, ça se voit. Again, on calling me, John was all excited. He said, Ken, he told me, I've got the license for the Sigfox for the Indian Ocean. Let's do it together in Mauritius. My reply was, John, what? You want us to go fox hunting? None in Mauritius. I was actually thinking of Samantha Fox. No, John tells me, Sigfox, the IoT company. You should know about it. You've been in IT, telecom so many years. To be honest, Christophe, désolé, I had no clue who you were. I was a bit out of touch. I was in the printing business with my friend Alfred there. To me, IoT, not my thing. So, I did some research on the weekend. First thing, I had to see what does IoT stand for. I did not even know that. Internet of Things did I read. Kept on doing some research, and Lord, we were on the internet to see everything. And those are a few things that I've got from my research. With IoT, machines are embedded with sensors with little or no human intervention to make businesses more efficient. Now, that's it. Now we started looking at numbers. It is predicted by Cisco by 2020 there will be 50 billion objects connected. And the world GDP is estimated to be, IoT is expected to generate $15 trillion in world GDP in the next 20 years. That's a lot of zeros. And we converted in Persian rupees. I don't want to go there. That's a lot of zeros. Then, Sigfox. What is that? Well, I discovered that it is a French company, surprise to me, French company, based in Toulouse, founded by Ludovic Lemont and Christophe Forte, thank you, who is with us today. Now, when we started looking at technology, some key features of Sigfox was offering and developing struck me. Those were quite amazing. You know, the network. Again, in the telecom jargon, we always like to use LPWAN. What does that stand for? Low power, wide area network, and it's an ultra long range. You know, objects get connected and it goes. Again, the signal can travel sometimes hundreds. Christophe told me sometimes it goes 1,000 kilometers. You still have to prove that to me. But it's happening. Energy efficiency. The device can go up to 10 years with a single battery without recharge. We charge our phone every day, once a day. Now just think of a device, has a battery inside, of course, but we don't have to recharge it for 10 years and it works. Now that's the beauty of Sigfox. Energy efficiency. Cost effectiveness, the operation cost. You know, the design was done so that we need to make sure, because we're talking about billions of objects being connected, we need to keep cost is very important. We have to keep it as little as possible. And the simplest way to do the connection and the setup. You know, anybody can do it. It's as easy as that. So, what we said, fantastic. What a great, great, great network. To be honest, I would never have imagined being back in this industry. But IoT, after reading and doing all that research, it's a boat we cannot miss. We need to be on board now. The more I read about Sigfox, about the technology, the more I'm impressed. The simplicity of the logic. Again, another word I got. Okay. Humankind can achieve much more with much less. Just think of the power of that sentence. Humankind can achieve much more with much less. And that's the philosophy of Sigfox. And that's the philosophy of Mascariegnes Connect. Christophe, well done. I say the genius. On t'appelle comment? Le Mozart de? Le Mozart de la radio, messieurs, dames. Moreover, after reflection, I realized that Sigfox network is not very different from a paging network, which I'm very familiar with. Well, at this point, I'd like to take this opportunity to salute my dad, Charles Yeptom, who is with us today, medical doctor who turned entrepreneur, and he was the one who built the first paging network in Mauritius. And that's almost 30 years ago. Well done. So you can hence imagine how happy and eager I am today to be associated with the launch of a completely new network in Mauritius. I remember my dad telling me all the stories, having to get sites at Signal Mountain, you know, fighting 30 years ago. But today, it's a whole new different story. About 45 years ago, we received all the necessary license from the regulator, the ICTA. Since then, our small team has been very, very busy with a lot of partners who are in this room today. And today I'm pleased to announce that phase 1 of our deployment. In 45 days we've deployed, this is how simple Sigfox is, we've deployed a network, an IoT network, that today I'm proud to say has a radio coverage of more than 80% of the island already. Our country is now part of a seamless global IoT network, connecting 32, today Sigfox is present in 32 countries, and we are ready in Mauritius to connect millions of devices. 32 countries, again, it's not like Mauritius, we've got the USA, Australia, Indonesia, Singapore, Brazil, France, of course. That was the first one, I think, right? Yeah. So again, connecting an object here, it will work in any of those countries. And 32, I think you're expecting in the year, how many more? 60 countries. So we are part of a revolution. It's a worldwide global revolution. Now, how do we do this now? We have to say that again, we build a network. So it's all about teamwork. We at Mascariegnes Connect, we built a network. Now we need people, a lot of you guys are in this room, to design, build devices. Software designers, software engineers, integrators, anybody involved in the industry. By putting all those building blocks together, we have a solution to make businesses more efficient. We can help to make your business more efficient for your own activities and also to better serve your customers and partners. Should you already have those capabilities, or you wish, again, business develops, or you're doing something completely different, and you wish to get on board, please do talk to us. We have a small team. We're here to help build a world network. The opportunities are endless. This is why together with Sigfox, we're building a team of partners worldwide to bring solutions in energy management, asset tracking, water management, waste management, just to name a few. Together with you guys, our channel partners, we will build an ecosystem for smart homes, smart agriculture, smart power, smart water, again, smart can, you know, you can anything, you know, the limit, you know, whatever, you can join on a piece of paper, millions of things we can do. It's opportunities there. And the opportunity, us to be a small Mauritius, opportunity today is worldwide. For the locally brewed smart solution we do in Mauritius. As Sigfox is a seamless worldwide network, we have a potential for billions of customers. The world is ours to have. So you build a device here, you build a device here solution here. That same device will work on all Sigfox network worldwide. So, US, well, okay, we put China aside, 300 million people. You know, it's a huge market, and this is an opportunity for all of us. It's not just for Mascariegnes Connect. It is for all of us to do something great. So join us together. We will make Mauritius the leading solution provider for IoT. I believe it. You know, we will do development for the region, and also, come on, the world. Let's think big. We Mascariegnes be international. Let's think big. Let's think the world. 7 billion customers, and IoT, what? 10 objects per person, so we have a lot of objects to connect. I would like to end with a quote from the movie Fields of Dreams, starring Kevin Costner. 19, who knows what year? Who's seen it? 1989. And it goes, if you build it, you will come. If you build it, they will come. Let's build the future together.
was done to increase the communication between people. We built printing, mobile phone. After that, many of you remember the first Netscape Explorer. So actually, everything we built the last 200 years was to increase the communication between us, between humans. Because if you think, we are social animals. We like to share, we like to have information between countries. Right now, the new tendency is Facebook, social network. This is 1 billion connections in the same night. So the humans are profoundly attached to communicate. Now you have also the smartphone. So if you look right now, we are perfectly able to communicate between humans. But the next step, what is it? Of course, we want to digitalize the physical world. We want to bring the world physics and bring it to the digital. We want to understand that each thing in the world can communicate with us. This is a graph showing you, like Mr. Ken told you, that in 2020, 50 billion objects. You see here a curve of adoption. This is the curve of adoption of different technologies. What you can see is that more you are closer to now, the technology gets adopted much and much quicker. It means that right now, you may not see IoT anywhere, but maybe in 2 or 3 years, you will see it everywhere. It will be pervasive. In each sector, you will have IoT. Let's go back. Do you remember 30 years ago, many businesses told you, no, I don't need a computer. 10 years ago, they told you, no, I don't need to be on the internet. Ask them the same question right now. They will answer you all that they need to be on the internet. You are in retail, in industry, in leisure. Each sector will be impacted by IoT. Be sure of that. It's called right now the 4th industrial revolution, and we are living it right now. But you will tell me, okay, it's a great story, John, Ken, Bruce telling me that, okay, IoT is the next big thing. But why did the Internet of Things had not yet exploded? I will make you 2 short stories. Let's go back in 1993. Nelson Mandela won the Nobel Prize. The same year, an American company decided to put 400 million to digitalize all the knowledge in the world. This company, it's Microsoft, with here Bill Gates. And they built something called Encarta. It was an encyclopedia on CD that gives you all the knowledge available. Against them, you have these 2 guys. Many of you don't know these 2 guys, but your children, you are using this website, I'm sure, almost once per month. These 2 guys had a crazy idea, an innovation. They said, okay, we don't need to digitalize ourselves, but everybody can contribute to build an encyclopedia. And they founded Wikipedia. We are in 1993, on which company are you betting on? Nobody could have told that Wikipedia could disrupt this market. I will give you an example. These 3 brands, for the last 100 years, has been like the top premium segment. Many companies have tried to beat Mercedes-Benz, BMW, and Audi. They tried. English or Indian companies. Even Italian companies tried. But they failed. One guy, in 2003, his name is Elon Musk, decided to create a car company. And he didn't sell a car, he sold services. He sold something that is totally different. And for the first year in the United States, the Tesla Model S is the car that is the most sold in the United States, before the BMW Series 5, Series 7, the Mercedes Class S, and everything. So, if you want innovation, you have to think different. And we had to think different regarding the simplicity of our objects. Today, you know maybe 3 or 4 things that are connected. Computers, smartphone, maybe your car. And they are using technologies like the Wi-Fi like Bluetooth, like Zigbee, like the BLE and everything. But if you think, let's try to think about objects. 80% of our objects are really simple. For example, if you need to know if a light is on or off, it's really simple, it's on or off. If you want to see if the smoke detector in your room is good or not, looking at the battery. If you want to see if, for example, your water pipeline is leaking or not, everything is really simple. And you can't use traditional network to do that. You need to invent something new. You need 4 things. The first of all is global connectivity. Imagine, for example, that an object is traveling today across the world and you have like to pay, I'm sure a lot of people here are traveling. When you are going in another country, you have roaming, you have to change phones, you're not sure that it's working. It's impossible for objects. If you have 1 billion pallets around the world and you have to change the SIM, it's impossible. So actually we need 4 things. I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. We need a worldwide connectivity. We need something that is really cheap. You can't connect, for example, all the chairs in this room if you have to pay the price for the same thing that the communication between people. It's not efficient. You need low energy consumption. This is a key point. If you want, for example, to connect, let's say, a trash bin to know if it's full or empty, will you put a battery on it? It's impossible. It's completely impossible. And the last thing is the easiness to deploy. Do you remember that 20 years ago, nobody knows, I'm sorry, I don't know in English, directeur de système d'information. It was a job that doesn't exist. And you have to create it because you have so much more computers in your company. Imagine we have to do the same for IoT. We have to wait 30 years before it works, and we can scale it. So it needs to be easy to deploy. And I can assure you, anybody in this room can activate a Sigfox object in less than 10 minutes. It's really, really easy. So today, we are proud to say that I think in the end of August, we'll cover 92% of the population and 80% of the territory. I would like j'aimerais remercier, Atlas Communication and HVP, who has been our partners for deploying this network, and they have done an incredible job to do it. We have been working on that for maybe 2 weeks. It was hard, but really thank you guys. But you will tell me, good, it's really nice you're talking about technology, but actually we don't care. I'm sorry, I will tell it in French. La technologie ne doit pas être une fin en soi. Elle n'est qu'un moyen. Et pendant de nombreuses années, for many years, we are only thinking about technology. We are thinking of higher smartphone, more powerful smartphones, more powerful computers. But what do the customer needs? What do we need in our daily lives? And it's why Sigfox is much more than a network. It's an ecosystem. Johnny and Ken have told you that today we cannot do it by ourselves. We need you, we need partners, we need people who understand the customer experiences, we need people who can cope, we need everybody to jump on board and build the system. It's why we are able today to build so many things. I'm sorry if the graph is a little bit complicated, but it's everything we can do at the moment. I have chosen several stuff. We have across, I'm really sorry, it doesn't work in Mauritius. They told me that baby means nothing in Mauritius, but in Northern Ireland it means our country. It's for the P of productivity. For the E it doesn't work, it's economy, so it's savings. And it's about innovation. And all the solutions we have developed in Sigfox ecosystem answer that. One key thing we had to understand, and it was a huge need, it's about all the smart cities and the smart building. Today, if you want to understand how building works, you need to be able to measure it. You need to be able to understand how it consumes energy, how you have cooling. You have to understand everything of that. So one of the goals is to capture the information. And after you have captured the information, you are able to treat it. And after you'll be able to take a decision. Today, many of your businesses, you are, I would say, obliged to understand it and to do, how to say, many entrepreneurs use the intuition. But today you can use the intuition with the data. And it's that thing that is really important. I'm really sorry for the graph, it's not that good, but we have to do it quickly. In Union Island, for example, a bank, the Crédit Agricole, decided to monitor all the agencies with smart meters. They needed to understand how much energy it was consumed in order to reduce the bill. And I can tell you, right now, the savings are already 10%. Just by putting smart meters, you are able to reduce by 10% your electricity bill. And it's almost the same for water. We can talk after that about the subject. I don't want to get too deep in it. This one, it's one thing that Johnny and Ken told me a lot about. They tell me, okay, we have one huge problem in Union Island and Mauritius, it's traffic jam. Just a question, in cities, what is the percentage of traffic generated by people who are looking to park? It's 30%. 30% of all the traffic jam you have in an area is done by people who are searching for a parking spot. And you can reduce that. Our world today, you will see outside, you have a sensor that is able to see if a parking slot is full or not. So actually you can graph, for example, like here in LSE, you can know all the places that are free or not. And imagine the time you can save. Imagine that you are able to see on your application on mobile phone, okay, I don't need to go there, it's already full, I will not go there. And it's all about efficiency. For example, this is an application that is used right now in France. For example, you can see here in green the places that are available, in red places that are full, and why do you have orange? It's because we have one problem, because even if you know if the parking slot is full or not, we have a problem. The time life of a spot is around 4 seconds. So actually, the sensor can give you the information that can be false in 2 or 3 seconds. So it's why we have algorithm to understand if maybe it's going to be full or not. There is one thing we are trying right now in Union Island. This is the waste management. You will tell me, what is waste management? Today, we have this kind of trash bin. You have one trash bin that is full, half full around 40%, one at 95%, one at 86%, and one at 28%. In Union Island, like we are really smart, we are doing that. Take the 40, the 95, the 86, and even the 28. This is how it's done. But let's be honest. Is it indispensable to collect the 40% and the 28%? Imagine that you are putting sensors in trash bin and you are able to measure at real time how full it's a trash bin. Imagine all the savings we can do. For example, here you will only collect the trash bin that are full. So you will save money, you will reduce your CO2 consumption, you will reduce your fuel consumption, and I can tell you that also it will change the behavior of people. Because IoT also is about understanding the behavior of people by objects. And the last one is something that is for us really key in the future. All of you here are business persons. And you can understand that you are building your income. I'm sorry, the term is not that good in English. Vous êtes en train de construire votre business à chaque fois avec des actifs, with assets. This is how you can produce value. But how often you have assets that you don't know where they are? Sigfox and Airbus have collaborated together to build the first tracking of all the pallets they have. Imagine a plane that is on the ground, it costs 50,000 euros per hour if it's not working. So to improve and to increase the efficiency of the supply chain, we need to have this kind of thing, because right now in real time, a manager at Airbus can know which kind of supply is going to arrive on the site, and they will be able to increase the efficiency. You tell me, okay, but it's for plane, but you can use it for any kind of assets. For pallets, you can use it for trucks, you can use it for actually anything. I can show you after the presentation. There is so many things you can not track, but understand how they live. You can measure really different things, from temperature to location to vibration. You can know if it's used or not. You have various captors for that, sensors. So. And you can also control it anywhere. That is something that is key. A lot of people told you that smart cities, it's the future. Of course it's the future. But one of the key challenges is how are you... I'm sorry, I'm going to do it in French. Comment est-ce qu'on va transformer les villes existantes en villes intelligentes? Comment on va rendre les objets actuels communicants et intelligents? It's the key challenge. If you have to build everything back, it will be much easier. But you have to, retrofit. So, let's together be pioneer of IoT to build our smart island. Thank you for your attention.
You can teach me a lot. You can teach me how to take a step. You can show me how to tie my shoes. You can teach me how to read and write, how to win and how to lose. You can teach me how to cross my T's. You can show me how to dot my I's. You can teach me how to sing and dance, when to laugh and when to cry. You can teach me how to solve for X. You can show me a shooting star. You can teach me how to hope and dream, how to ride a bike, then to drive a car. You can teach me how to achieve my goals. You can show me how to say goodbye. You can teach me how to grow and learn. But did you know I could learn to save a life?
Normally, people are thinking that when they come in Mauritius Island, it's for vacation, and they are for working. But I will come back. What is good with your presentation, Bruce, is that you are simplifying mine. So I'm going to be much faster. Before I start, by the way, you were all three talking about collaboration. It's very important to talk about collaboration because I personally think that the future of industry is within collaboration. There is beyond the IoT revolution, which is one revolution coming, the revolution of the industry and the way we are working is coming as well. You know that big groups have more and more difficulties working as monolithic industries. They need more and more various contributors all over the world in order to work well. And IoT is such a way of working. You need collaboration for many devices, many companies, so that you can understand your business and progress. It was just a reflection that came to my mind. So, yes, that's me. You were talking about pioneer. As a matter of fact, I think we've been pioneer at the beginning of Sigfox. Sigfox has been created in roughly 2010. And when we presented our rally, we were seen not only as pioneers, but we were seen as crazy people. Remember that, by the way, Mercredi, when he made the first transmission over the channel between France and England, he was seen as a crazy guy. Why are you doing this? You just need to have a cable and you can transmit your telegraph by cable. But slowly, investors understood what we were doing. Customers started to understand what we were doing. They understood many of our values that I'm going to present. I'm going to be a little bit more technical but not too much, because if I'm too technical, you have to stop me. And I'm going to be very, very cautious, not falling too much into technical, otherwise you will be there tonight. So I want you to have some fun. Okay, the idea, as you mentioned, was really how to extract information from the world around us. You know, that's the difference between what we call the cold data and the hot data. Today, you are manipulating cold data, meaning that you have big systems which are not so numerous, internet, telephony, and you are getting data, you process it, and then you have the result. With Internet of Things, it's more processing very quickly live data, and then it's over. You might keep it for making further calculation, but the goal is really to have the data as it is perceived at the same time. So you want to be with hot data. But you also want to have a lot of sources, where today you have a bunch of information from well-known sources, and not so few. Internet of Things is getting information, maybe a very small piece of information, but from an enormous number of sources. So, okay, we created Sigfox in 2010. Now some more details. Okay, what is that? Basically, the question is scalability. In Sigfox, we are talking about massive IoT. Massive IoT does not mean a lot of information from small number of sources, as I said, but a bunch of sources emitting little piece of information. If you want to do that efficiently, you need also in the telecom system to be very similar to what we want to do, basically. You want to sense your media of communication. If you consider your phone is using license band. And it's based on discipline. When you start your phone has to connect to the network. It has to be informed about the channels, the frequency, when can I talk, and then the network is giving your phone all the rules. You have to do that. It's for good reason. You have to do that because the communication are long. You want to transmit voice, you want to transmit internet information. It's long, it's massive and bulky information. But for this kind of tiny information, it's completely different. You want the systems to be random access. So basically, those devices that do not know that there is a network, they are just living their life. You need a network which is at the service of the device. Basically, this is just a mess. So what is it? It's a spectrum, okay? So I'm not going to go into details, but let's imagine it's a signature of the signal. And you see that there is a bunch of signals over there, and they are different nature. You can see that they are not looking the same. Okay? So you need to be able to be cognitive. And that's, by the way, all the topic about Internet of Things. Being cognitive. Meaning that you want to learn about your environment. So we had to build, in fact, a network which is at the image of what we wanted to do. We had to build a network which is able to retrieve your data despite the fact that you have many other data, many other systems working potentially on your band. So you are not cleaning your resource, you use it as it is. That's a revolution within radio communication. In fact, it's a revolution, but it existed in the past. This is what a spectrum could look like in the 30s to the 60s. Because in the 30s and the 60s, you could only use what we called at this time the short waves. Okay? You know, in the ship, in the planes, they were using those bulky radios, and they tried to be extremely frugal in using the spectrum, because the spectrum was very small. Just to give you an idea, With your cell phone, you are using more than 1,000 more megahertz that those guys were able to use at this era. They only had few megahertz usable per day, not more. But also the cell they were using, the range of their signal were not in kilometers. So the cells were not few kilometers radius. They were thousands of kilometers. So there was a problem of capacity. And they had to use very narrow signal, and they had to organize themselves all together so that they could put their traffic. The problem was this. You need people behind the radio. You need thousands, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of the kind of people who were responsible to tune the system so that it worked. In fact, what we do now is that we do the same. So the same kind of spectrum with a lot of tiny signals all over the band, but automatically we are using the computer science so that we can do it. So that those networks can be massive IoT networks, meaning that they can handle the data from billions of devices. So that's the way we started, by the way. Sigfox started like that, with a few people mounting antennas to make the proof of concept. That's just very briefly a few numbers, but we already gave some. That's more Sigfox-centric, I would say. So 32 countries, as a matter of fact, but we already have 12 countries fully covered. You go in those countries, I can tell you, you can put your object wherever it's wanted. You have, well, I'm not going to comment all the numbers, you can read it. And as you said again, we expect in 2018 to be at something like roughly 60 countries. By the way, we are also trying to cover very non-usual territories. Like, for instance, this is coverage over the South Pole for scientific experiment. It's so easy to install that they were able to install the base stations in one day, and then they had coverage over the banquise. I don't even know the term in English. That's basically the Sigfox pillar. Low energy, low cost, complementarity. Low energy, as you mentioned, we want the device to be abandoned. Massive IoT is abandoning device. You build a device, it's a very easy provisioning. You say 10 minutes, it could be even less than that. You put your device on service somewhere, and you forget about it. And it has to work during 5, 10, 20 years, depending on what the device actually does and what is the battery. Low cost, I'm going to further give you some idea of what is low cost. And complementarity, because in fact we have invented a technology for a segment that was absolutely essential for massive IoT, and which was not covered with classical technology. The classical technology, you know, that Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, cellular, and it was really needed to have this kind of technology for those very simple, abandoned devices, not consuming a lot of energy, really frugal device. In fact, also the fourth pillar is this one: keep it simple. When we started the company, a lot of people were not understanding why the Sigfox objects were so simple from an electronic standpoint. And they say, it cannot work, it's too simple. We had to explain that we were compensating the simplicity of the device with the network, which is an intelligent, cognitive network, as I said. But we had to keep the object extremely simple so that it's extremely low cost. I think that now this idea is well understood, but it has been tough to make people understand that. So that's basically what I say: no protocol, very simple protocol, if no protocol. But the paradox is that you need an intelligent network to do that. Very quickly, because you gave some of it, the kind of usage you can have. You can have those very simple objects on very complicated devices, like, for instance, the landing gear. Why? Because this landing gear for Airbus is a new business. They are no longer selling the landing gear. They are selling the aircraft, but Airbus is still responsible for the landing gear, and they provide a service. They measure the landing gear independently from the aircraft, so they want systems which are autonomous on the landing gear with batteries, not connected to the aircraft, so that they can know when the landing gear has to be maintained or replaced. Okay? It's a totally new business. I suspect then, even, but it's not official, so it's between us, I suspect them to have a plan making much more money on services than selling aircraft. Just to give you an idea of what is this IoT revolution. It could be asset tracking, or for instance, parcel tracking. Okay? So we are working on that. Indeed, smart city, mobility, etc. That's a whole topic. Another example, which is a funny one, it's in Puerto Rico. It's for controlling the revenue from the gambling machines and so on. They have so much trouble with that they want very tiny machines somewhere hidden in their machine, so that they can know what actually happens. Okay. This is still once again a waste management story. So we have signed something with Disney for their waste management in their parks. It can be applied wherever, indeed. That's also a funny one. If you have very simple devices which are extremely low energy, it could be a button. You will see a button, by the way, very soon. It can be a button, and you can invent the business on the button. We give you a button with a kind of subscription. In fact, it's not even a subscription, it's a bundle in the price of your button. You buy a button, let's say $20, $15, you have the subscription to the network for 2-3 years, or for a certain number of clicks. And by making the click, you can invent a business. This one is providing clean water by just clicking. I want to have new and fresh water. I'm clicking the button, and in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, somebody is refilling my water system. Okay, I'm going to skip this one. Indeed, it's very important when you want to make massive IoT to have in mind a roadmap for your network and your system. Not only your network, but also data science and so on. And the idea is that if you have a cognitive network, so basically you do not put discipline on the device. The devices are living their life, as I said. It means that by connectivity, you can have the whole system evolving just by having your network evolving. You do not impose retrofit of software to the device. A device that has been created 10 years ago is still working as it was working 10 years ago. If you don't need to you can hear the Sigfox signal. Sorry for that. GSM noise. So you can have your network being more sensitive, having new kind of modes. You can have a lot of things. Okay. One very important thing is that all those sources, and that's my SMS in Morse code, all those sources of data are so numerous, are going to be so numerous, and they are going to be so dynamic that massive data science is going to be also a revolution. You cannot imagine what we are already able to guess from the metadata that are being created by the device on our network. Although we are not yet at the level of number of objects we would like, indeed, but it's enough, already enough, to create additional value. Maybe the last point is on the cost, once again. It gives you an idea of what is the asymptote for the traditional cellular, for instance, in the IoT or the technology that are going to be used in the cellular network. With different services, it's not a question of competing, in fact. A lot of analysts are trying to have the technology competing. They are complementary. You can do many things within the IoT or those future cellular technology, but it's different from what we are doing. You cannot, we often say, what can do more can do less, which is not true. What can do more can do less, but less efficiently, at higher cost. Okay? So if you want to do it massively, you need to reinvent the thing. And what we have reinvented makes that, at the end of the day, the price of the solutions are going to be in tens of cents. Not dollars, tens of cents. Skipping this one. Just to give you an idea, this is a so-called connected device. Meaning that this device, which is basically a kind of temperature sensor or something like that, can be connected to internet. And it's probably the lowest cost, lowest kind of price you can find on internet or Amazon or wherever. A kind of 69 euro, I don't know what it means in rupee, but 40 times more, as I understood. And the reason for this price is that you need today, up to now, you needed to add something quite costly so that you could be connected to internet. This kind of device so far were non-connected internet device, just a way of having your temperature from outside to your bathroom, for instance, so that in the morning, when you are preparing for work, you know that, oh, it's 25 degrees outside with this degree of humidity, so I'm going to press it that way, okay? But not internet connected. But it's non-euro, and it's a big market, because it's non-euro. This one is basically a big product. This one is a bestseller. Can we connect it to internet? Yes, with Sigfox, you can. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you an electronic course, but just to give you an idea. This is the kind of electronic you have in a radio of this 9-buck device. Only 2 transistors. Each transistor is less than 1 cent, okay? Just to give you an idea. So basically the radio is $0.2, $0.15, not more. You just do that, and it's a Sigfox device. Not because of the fact that you've added those components, but because the network allows you to do that. Well, that's the same with some kind of Chinese very low-cost device, and you have this, and you have a Sigfox device. So basically, what we want to do for the simple device, we are not going to connect a video IP device. We are not going to connect, that's not for our network, to connect a device which are able to transmit megabyte of files. It's not the role of Sigfox. But what we want to do is transforming any kind of low-cost device into Sigfox-enabled device so that it can be connected to internet, and you can get hot data from it, because that's the goal of this massive IoT story. That's about it. If you have questions, we can discuss it later on. We'll be very pleased to try to answer to your question. Thank you.
You can teach me a lot. You can teach me how to take a step. You can show me how to tie my shoes. You can teach me how to read and write, how to win and how to lose. You can teach me how to cross my T's. You can show me how to dot my I's. You can teach me how to sing and dance, when to laugh and when to cry. You can teach me how to solve for X. You can show me a shooting star. You can teach me how to hope and dream, how to ride a bike, then to drive a car. You can teach me how to achieve my goals. You can show me how to say goodbye. You can teach me how to grow and learn. But did you know I could learn to save a life?